Well, it was a lunch like no other. I was the main course. And at the moment, as I was sitting there, I was looking and thinking, my whole career is going down the tube here. And just as soon as that thought came into mind, I was very conscious of the Holy Spirit's presence and that He was there with me and everything was going to be all right. And I've known that to be true in my life in many, many circumstances. Basically, I was sitting at the table with the CEO for our agency, which is the largest one in the Twin Cities, as well as my president, and the CEO for the largest account the agency had, which I served on. And the CEO from the new CEO from our account was basically asking for my job. A situation had occurred where there was a misunderstanding, and this gave him an opportunity to basically ask for me off the account. And as part of the deal that was going to come out of it was my personal integrity was going to be intact. Even though his interpretation was inaccurate, it just gave him the latitude to be able to ask for what he wanted to. I realized at the time that they weren't going to defend me and I wasn't going to ask them to do it because there was 40 other people whose jobs depended upon this account and I needed to step aside. During the next couple of weeks, it was a very difficult time. There was a lot of misunderstandings. People really didn't know what had happened, and I couldn't really say much about it. But one of the most meaningful things that happened was that my account supervisor, Lynn, came into the office, closed the door, and sat down with me and said, I know you're going through a difficult time. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen anybody go through a time as challenging as this one. But I've never seen anyone do it as well as you're doing. And I know it's because of your faith in God. And this meant a lot to me because 5 years ago when she came on the account, she had no relationship with the Lord. She was really into her career. She had no desire for a family. And as she sat before me that day, she was very active in her church, and she had a small son that she was caring for and who was the love of her life. Since that, about 2 years later, in a downturn of business, I was laid off and went into business on my own. And it's had its ups and downs, but it's also opened many doors to do things I never would have had an opportunity to do. And I have no regrets.